Hello and welcome to another zip form training. Today we're going to be going over the actual forms necessary in an offer to purchase and what would be an addendum depending on the circumstances of the offer. So let's go ahead and jump right into your buyer template. And you'll notice that the very first thing that pops up always will be your Arizona cover sheet. The Arizona cover sheet is such an awesome document because once you put anything into that document, it will send it out to the rest of the offer. Plus, it's a great place to store just all the necessary info as far as the people involved, the lender, the buyer, the seller, everything. And you can actually send that out to, for example, escrow, and they will know all the parties involved. It's a really kind of cool document. So other than that, there's really only a couple necessary documents that are absolutely necessary when writing an offer. The first one would be, well, the most important would be the actual offer itself, the residential purchase contract. That is pretty much the offer. Beyond that, believe it or not, the only things that are necessary are the agency for the other people to officially know that you are representing whatever party is involved. The market conditions is something that we make necessary at Breakthrough because of the fall of the market. It's a kind of cover Breakthrough and cover yourself. And it basically tells people that we can only make decisions based on the information we have today. Tomorrow the market could go up or it could go down. We can't control it. And that's all we can say. So let's make the best decision today. And that's it. So it's a very, very good document, but you have to love the fall of the market because it wasn't necessary 6 years ago. Next, you have what we classify as a breakthrough document. Okay, there's a lot of different versions of this document around, but this would be the mold addendum. Surprising thing about Arizona, with how dry we are, is that we rank in the top states in the nation for mold claims. I can't specify for a fact why, but my guess is mold is not a way of life in Arizona. We are very dry compared to places such as the Northwest, the Northeast, the Southeast, Florida, Georgia, all those areas where high humidity exists. They're used to mold. In Arizona, we don't deal with mold, and we have this kind of, it has a stigma to it where any mold is bad mold, where that's not typically the case. And that's not to undercut anybody who is allergic. If you are allergic, that's exactly why we have this addendum. It says, if they're during your due diligence on any property, you find out that there are even conditions conducive to mold, do what's necessary. If you need to take further action, do further inspections. If you need to just cancel and move on, so be it. But make sure, A, you do your due diligence, and based on what you find out, you respect the significance because, yeah, exactly, if you are allergic, it can be fatal. Next is anything else, right? That is the offer. If there's an HOA, make sure you put the HOA addendum in there. If there's a pool, of course you need the pool addendum. There may or may not be any addendums or counteroffers. So if they are, obviously they are part of the contract, but it's not to say they're going to be part of every single contract. Okay? Next, you have the buyer's advisory. The buyer's advisory is a wonderful document that you're going to give to your buyers as early on as possible. This is what they can use to do their due diligence on not just a particular home, but every home, every neighborhood, every city. It is one of the best things that they can have and do next to the actual home inspection of the home they find to get an accepted offer on. If you can, send them to the live link. That way they can click on everything there. You'll see in this packet there's probably a couple hundred live links. Next, we have the buyer-broker agreement. I would love to say that this is a mandatory document. It's the only way to protect you, the buyer broker. If they move on, you are due a commission. If they do anything dishonest, it protects you. So it's not mandatory by any means, but I would like to think you are going to do whatever it takes to protect yourself. I know lots of agents that have never used them, have wonderful relationships with almost every single one of their clients. This will protect you in that 1 or 2 times that you might truly be deserving of a commission. You might have worked really, really hard and something kind of shady might have happened. This is your protection. Okay? Next, a counteroffer we went through, critical date list. The critical date list walks you through. So once you have an accepted offer, it'll walk you through the entire escrow process and remind you of any dates necessary. It's not a necessary doc in the offer, but if you want to make sure you are not going to miss any dates and be on the spot whenever any things are necessary or stay ahead of the game, that's how you do it. The loan status update, we put this in here for the lenders. The lenders will have to provide a loan status update within 10 days of an accepted contract and then periodically throughout the escrow. So it's good to have one handy just in case the lender needs it. We went through these two. Next, we have the buyer's inspection notice and seller's response. That is the document that we use to say we are through with our inspections. We're either going to accept this property, ask for these repairs, or we are canceling and moving on. Okay? It's up to the buyers first. That's the wonderful thing. Arizona is such a buyer-friendly state, which we'll go over some other details in a little bit. We have the ability to protect our buyers several times along the line. So in this case, it ultimately always comes back to the buyer when it comes to the inspections. It's up to the buyer first if they want to accept, repair, move on. If you say you want to ask for repairs, you send it to the sellers, and even if they say no, it's not up to them to cancel. It comes back to your clients, the buyers, and then you could say, okay, they either said, oh, we'll do it. They could say, we're going to do this amount, or they could say, no, we're not going to do anything. But it's up to the buyers if they're going to accept that or not. That is the beautiful thing about Arizona. You got to love being able to truly protect your clients. So that's the BINSR. Next, you have the contract, the pool regulations, the mold, the breakthrough transaction cover sheet. This is kind of our interior form that you will give to all parties involved. So once you have an accepted contract, you want to come back and fill this small form out, and it's an easy thing to give to everybody, specifically stating all the details of your offer, warranty, concessions, the lender, the escrow officer, all the pertinent information involved. So you can give that to the lender, escrow, and anybody else. That way they're all on the same page and know exactly who to call and talk to. Last but not least, we have the final walkthrough, which you want to perform 3 days before closing. 3 days before closing is very strategic because that is the length of a cure period. If anything happens, God forbid, you don't want to delay closing. And so this is the form that you will use when you do your final walkthrough, and you'll notice the spots on there. If it's great, perfect, that's ideal. The only other thing you might have is we need these things repaired because they weren't done. But God forbid, if the sellers did not perform, that's your ability to say, hey, you have 3 days to fix this, or we're going to have to take it to the next step, which is not good because closing, you always want to make sure is happy. And so this is where you make sure 3 days in advance. All right, that's a quick overview of the offer. Take care.